Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. This is one of the simplest and yet most genius bull/bear market indicators, is courtesy of Stock Money Lizards here, 12-month SMA. So guys, the small moving average, but when you're taking a look at it, you're looking at it on the 12-month. And guys, look how clearly it spells out bullish over bearish. Stock Money Lizards continues by saying, people try to go against the trend. They are waiting for their genius moment where they can call the top and pin their tweet. These people don't make any money. They keep screaming 30K at the 48K ETF approval peak after 73K, the new all-time high. And now, ensure the day will come where they are right sometimes. I guess sometimes people are right. For now, we are in a bull market, though. You got to recognize that. Take a look at that, trading above that 12-month SMA. So technically, we are still in a bull market until we cross down below that level, which is nowhere in sight at the moment. Right now, we've got one Bitcoin going for about $108,900 per coin. We're up a little bit yesterday. Now we're down a little bit, but at the end of the day, guys, trend is still looking very robust. We have seen, this is the hourly chart, by the way, we have seen Bitcoin really kind of move, trying to break up above that $110,000 mark. As I indicated up there, we got very, very close to it. That is former resistance that we saw from back in June. Early June 2025. So that is the localized resistance. Of course, $112,000 per coin is really what we have to break, though, from back in May 22nd, 2025. That is all-time high. When we see Bitcoin go above that level with conviction, guys, that is hopefully when we're going to see altcoins rally. Right now, we aren't seeing altcoins rally. Luckily, though, for us, fear and greed in neutral territory, still up. It's at 55. That is still considered neutral, even though the market is down by a little bit. Market cap is down by 1.1%. We got the CMC 100 down. Altcoin season 23 out of 100. Bitcoin has got to move first before the altcoins really rock and roll. We got altcoins down by a little bit here. Bitcoin is really going to be the one to dictate this market, as it usually is. We've also got CryptoCon commenting, Bitcoin cycle is closely tied to the strength of the global M2 money supply. This is, something else I've been saying over the last few days. And we're in the thick of the final phase. So that is the important part. Follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel if you guys are interested in hearing my up-to-date perspective on the bull market, as I'm going to be trading out of my $15,000 altcoin portfolio too. I think the consensus is that I'm going to be trading in real time over there at Patreon. I do have monthly live streams, but a special live stream for when I'm actually trading out of the $15,000 plus portfolio. So you guys can find that all there. Here CryptoCon says, every bear market ends with a surge of global cash. Throughout the cycle, there are secondary cash influxes. Phase 2. This is the first time we've seen 2 of these in a single cycle. The final phase begins at the phase 3 starting point and rallies to the high global cash line. It's clear that this is underway now. The cycle typically ends after a large decline in cash flow strength. Not there yet. After the cycle lasts about 3 to 5 months from our current point in phase 3. So we're getting close, but we're not there yet. Phase 3, we're still waiting for that blow off top. We have completed phase 1 and 2, and we did see 2 phase 2s for this particular bull run, the mid-cycle push. But that final parabolic phase, guys, that is the final injection of cash, and hopefully it does happen within the next few months. Again, more accurate details over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. We've also got Zoom here. Are you guys paying attention? So when it comes to XRP and XRP price, this is the XRP US dollar chart. This is another indicator that Zoom wanted to point out. Every time we've seen an XRP push, we see these 2 lines cross. Okay, this is the Stoic RSI. And guys, look at where we're at now. Last time was in November of 2024, before that meteoric rise. Remember that, guys? Here, let me bring up the XRP chart and let me throw that on the daily. That was right in here. November 2024, before we saw XRP really push to the upside. The sloshing in here has been, annoying, I guess, for probably newbie traders, par for the course for veteran traders. Luckily, we are making the higher lows now. Got to break up above $2.66 to really kind of confirm higher highs. So that's where we're at for XRP. Again, guys, it's all going to happen in one push. Bitcoin will go first, then altcoins will rally. That's generally how it happens. But, as far as this goes, we are getting there. that indication is the beginning of the final phase. So wanted to thank Zoom for pointing that out. Wanted to thank CryptoCon and, of course, Stock Money Lizards here for this first tweet. Now, Zafe, guys, posting this, there's a big week ahead for crypto. U.S. House officially declares Crypto Week starting July the 14th. And so the bills under review are the Clarity Act. Okay, that is crypto rules, Anti-CBDC Surveillance Act, and the Genius Act, Innovation Boost. XRP community, keep your eyes on the prize. We're getting there. We're getting very, very close. Who knows? Maybe this next week will help some of these crypto prices soar. I guess we will just have to wait and see. You know, it's a waiting game. Part of this is a waiting game. You talk to veteran traders, veteran crypto traders who may have been in 2 or 3 cycles, and, you know, they'll tell you the same. They don't know when this market is going to pop. They've got the experience, too. I mean, it is just our best guess. Looking at multiple angles is obviously better than just looking at 1 or 2 things. So, you know, this is where my focus is on as well. So I wanted to thank Zafe for that. Also happen to see this, guys. Ripple partner Flutterwave did relaunch the Send app in the United States. So Flutterwave, originally based in Africa, I think they're a Kenyan company, if I'm not mistaken. They have just launched their Send app in the United States with improved features. The Send app, Flutterwave US relaunch, expands money transfer options across Africa. So they did just announce this across the US following their newly acquired money transmitter license. So they just recently received a new license, and this is why they can do this. This comes after Flutterwave secured 20 additional MTLs in the US, adding to the 14 licenses the brand has held since 2023. Altogether, this achievement raised Flutterwave's total number of direct licenses to 34, allowing the company to operate across many US states and territories without partners or intermediaries. Users in the US can now send money to Nigeria, Ghana, and Egypt, unlocking new remittance corridors that were previously unavailable. Alongside this expansion, the onboarding process has been streamlined with a quick ID check, making it faster and easier for users to get started. Additional improvements include optimized payment support for US-issued visas and Discover cards, enhanced security measures to safeguard transactions and maintain compliance, and improved in-app flows for a simpler, more efficient sending experience. It also says the Send app Flutterwave US relaunch is part of the company's strategy to simplify global payments for the African diaspora communities. So Flutterwave, of course, with their licenses, can now expand using XRPL technology. I have a feeling they were one of the first Ripple partners in the continent of Africa, and then a few African countries, more African companies followed suit after that. But here, guys, they are officially licensed in these particular states: Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Delaware, Idaho, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Louisiana, Maine, Minnesota, Mississippi, and Missouri, Nebraska, New Hampshire, New Mexico, North Dakota, Oklahoma, Oregon, Puerto Rico, Rhode Island, South Dakota, Utah, Washington, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. So not every state, but it does look as though, you know, crypto utility is becoming the new norm slowly but surely. We also have this, guys, this great news from Michael Branch. Ripple just announced another big development on the XRPL. This particular development is happening in the Asia-Pacific region, guys. They are partnering with Tenity Global. Ripple is set to launch an XRPL accelerator program aimed at supporting blockchain startups and developers across the APAC region. This program will run for 12 weeks and focus on some of the hottest sectors in crypto right now: real-world assets, or RWA tokenization, institutional decentralized finance, and AI-powered blockchain applications. Selected projects could receive up to $200,000 in funding to help bring their ideas to life. Ripple's APAC Managing Director Fiona Murray opened up about Singapore's growing status as the leader in digital innovation, saying this accelerator will help unlock new talent and practical use cases on the XRP ledger. So looking to expand, guys, the accelerator program, of course, expanding blockchain startups in regions of the world where, you know, maybe the funding historically hasn't been as robust as, let's say, in the United States. The rest of this article just talks about XRP price predictions. We won't get into that right now, but interesting to see Tenity is now partnering with Ripple to do just this. The accelerator program, I guess an extension of many accelerator programs that Ripple is part of. The UBRI is just one of them that comes to mind in the moment. Anyway, wanted to thank Michael for that. Guys, Bitcoin News also commenting on Scott Bessent's most recent answer when asked this, okay? He was asked if he can be both Fed chair and Treasury Secretary at the same time. And here's what he said.
You know, your name gets floated out there. You have some odds on Polymarket of being the next Fed chair. Can you be a Fed chair and a Treasury Secretary at the same time?
Well, I think it hasn't been done since 1930-something, and I'm very happy in my job here. I think we have lots of good candidates for Fed chair. We will start working on that in the fall. we've been busy. The president's been doing peace deals, trade deals, tax deals, and we are landing the plane on all of those. So we're going to have more bandwidth after Labor Day.
That was not a no, I just want to point out, on the double job. Very interesting. Secretary Bessent, thank you for the time today.
Good to see you.
And he didn't even comment on her comment calling him out. That wasn't a no, and he just kept quiet. Could Scott Bessent be eyeing the Fed chair job alongside Treasury Secretary? I mean, that would have to mean Jerome Powell is out. And I mean, there's been speculation about that over the last few weeks now. But anyway, that's the latest, guys, coming from U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Somebody also noticed this, guys. President Trump, he was at a rally the other day. Look at the bottom of the screen. Are you seeing this, guys? Here, let's zoom in. And I just wanted to bring this up. Yes. Somebody noticed this flashing at the bottom of the screen. And if you guys have not caught videos I've done on this specific topic, I'll find a recent one and I will link it up here in the top right-hand corner. Donald Trump, if there's any president, he would be the president to implement this. There has been some talk about the remonetization of the financial system and how gold could be the new global currency or basing, a cryptocurrency based on gold and gold price, revaluation of gold. Of course, gold is undervalued, some would argue, and I'll link a video I did on that recently up here. So that's interesting from Pastor Bob Joyce. Wanted to thank him for that. Matt LANY also commenting on this, guys, the MAS, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and their IDSA Project Guardian. This is brand new as of July the 3rd, implementing tokenized bank liabilities and shared ledger in cross-border payments and foreign exchange settlement. This is ISO 20022, guys. And I just wanted to remind you guys that back in 2023, crypto firm Ripple secured a Singapore payment license, okay? So from the Monetary Authority of Singapore, the MAS, they allowed Ripple to provide regulatory digital payment token services. So Ripple has already had this payment license in Singapore. And now, guys, as of just yesterday, July the 3rd, 2025, if you guys are watching this video on the day that I'm releasing it, the ISDA and Ant International lead new industry report on use of tokenized bank liabilities for FX settlement and cross-border payments under Project Guardian. Ripple already has the license, guys. Now they're going through with this. The joint report is produced under the Monetary Authority of Singapore's Project Guardian, a global collaboration between policymakers and key industry players to enhance liquidity and efficiency in financial markets. ISDA and Ant International are members of the industry group and lead the FX workstream to develop FX data specifications, risk management framework, and FX documentation. Other contributors to the report include BNY, HSBC, OCBC, and the Global Financial Markets Association Global Foreign Exchange Division. So that is interesting. And to think that they are going to modernize this framework with ISO 20022, of course. Ripple was, not a lot of people remember this, but Ripple was the very, very, very first company, crypto-related company, that jumped on the ISO 20022 standard almost too soon and almost seemed too obvious. As soon as, the announcement was made that the financial system was going to be modernized, Ripple jumped on board pretty much the next day or something. We got news that happened. I wish I had the video on that. I don't even remember when it was. And at that time, we didn't really make a big deal about it. We just thought, oh, great, cool, look, Ripple's doing this. But, looking back at it now, after everything was said and done, it almost seemed like, yeah, the signals were there. So interesting news here. Wanted to thank Matt for posting that. And guys, do you remember this? I remember I talked about this too a few years ago. Mature derivatives are essential for price discovery. Well, this has more meaning today, and I'll tell you why, guys. This is a clip of Christian Carlo, former chairman of the U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission. And here's what he says about derivatives and how we will see true price discovery through any type of derivative market. Listen to this.
As I explained to your audience today, I see crypto as much more than just a new asset class, but really a new architecture of finance, a new way of establishing who owns what and who's transferring what to whom, using the internet as the basis for establishment of that value, as opposed to the individual balance sheets of proprietary institutions. It's a new architecture, a new protocol for establishing value. In any a commodity market, the price of the underlying commodity is actually not set in the physical or the spot market. The price is set in the derivative markets. Mature derivative markets are essential for price discovery because it's the one place that all the buyers and sellers can come together to agree on price. That's why the price of gold is not set in a jewelry shop. It's set in the derivatives market. The price of wheat is not set at a grain elevator. It's set in the derivative markets. The price of oil is not set at the gas pump. It's set in the derivative markets. So establishing well-functioning, healthy derivatives for crypto will provide a solid basis for price discovery and price setting for crypto.
I hope you guys caught that.
So establishing well-functioning, healthy derivatives for crypto will provide a solid basis for price discovery and price setting for crypto.
So that brings me to this, guys, and I just thought about this today. This is from a couple of months ago. The derivatives exchange, the CME Group, set to launch XRP futures in a crypto push. Guys, remember when we were talking about this? The cash-settled futures are set to launch on May the 19th, pending regulators' approval. And so were they launched? I don't actually think they were. We just have the pending regulatory approval, the reviews that still need to be done. But the other thing is this is just one group, just the CME Group for XRP futures products alone. Guys, we still have the ETFs that are coming out. Those still need to be approved. And so as the crypto derivatives market does become more mature, we are going to see real XRP price action, and agreed upon price. This is where buyers and sellers go, as per Chris Giancarlo here. So what is going to be the true price of XRP? Of course, there's going to be all that demand as well for XRP from the real players that are actually using it, that do have to hold it, that do have to store it, that have it on their books as a reserve currency, as whatever they decide to use it as. So there's going to be that on top of all these products that are going to be traded. And so that did also remind me of another thing here, courtesy of Smoke. Yes, XRP will become less volatile over time as demand for XRP increases. Similar to what David Schwartz was saying, it needs to go up very high and then it's going to stabilize. Ripple argues that its XRP coins had initially been exposed to certain volatility due to an increase in demand and the growth of the coin's ecosystem. However, they do believe that this will even out as demand becomes more constant due to steady demand for XRP as a bridging currency. Now, I think that part is changing a little bit. I think as we're seeing more derivatives products being launched to market, and as Chris Giancarlo does say here, these derivatives products are really going to make XRP price what it is. Guys, this is all going to blow SPEC out of the market. SPEC is just one part of it. If we can get up to $3.40 with SPEC, think of how high we'll get once this market matures, once we do see XRP trading in the derivatives market in a meaningful capacity. But that's just my opinion, and for more opinions on where I think the market's going to go, because this is all happening very, very fast, guys. My price targets are going to be different now versus down the road. Is the market going to crash again? 70, 80, 90%? We have to see. Follow me at patreon.com/Working Money Channel if you want to hear my opinions about this. I also have the Working Money Channel merch store. Thanks so much to everybody who has been purchasing Working Money Channel merch. It does help support the channel. Link is in the description of the video if you guys are interested, but that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.